Hi everyone. I am looking forward to Craft and Unwind Fridays today after a week's gap. And I am just going to give it a minute, letting people join in. And today I will be creating with Tailored Expressions Beach Bound Bundle. I thought it is a good way of continuing on the sea and beach theme from June into July, considering it's been hot. The summer has been quite crazy around the world, and also my recent vacation. So, on that, just keeping in sync with all of that, I thought um, it would be nice for me to use this and create another beach inspired card. Hi, Pam. Oh, okay, you were watching that. Okay, I'm glad you were able to catch both. And yes, so today is just going to be a nice, crafty, fun session. Just playing with some new products. Hi, Karen. So I am actually going to switch to my desk view. That right there. And that's the bundle. So this is the Tailored Expressions Beach Bound Bundle. Hi, Dan. However, hi, Melissa. This is currently out of stock and a few products. So the tropical blooms are still available. And then the sentiments, the endless summer sentiments with the coordinated dye, that's available too. That one. Then they have this wave edges set of two dyes, and I think it's really nice for that wave and sea effect. I am not sure if this is still available. I haven't really checked for that one. That is good, Melissa. And then the bundle also comes with this 6x6 layering stencil, which has the sun rising on the ocean with like miniature scenes. Hi, Jen. So I'm not using all of them today. I am mostly using these two dies and then the sentiment, of course. And then this stamp, the sketchy stripes, it is not for sale. This was a freebie with the bundle, but I think I'm going to be using this as well today. So we'll see. So on that note, I have die cut these elements on white cardstock and I have laid them on my sticky mat so I can get into ink blending and creating the elements for my card. Now today I have used these before when I played with the quartz stencils from Tailored Expressions. This is the bright rainbow inks from Tailored Expressions, and I picked these out, but I will also be mixing in my alt new inks to create various shades. So the tropical blooms, they come with these anthuriums, hibiscus kind of tropical blooms, and then these smaller flowers too, and different foliage. I'm not sure if I will be using everything, but I would like to have them colored just in case when I'm working on my composition. So I would like to first start ink blending these, and I'm just using my same mini blending brushes that I use for my Ultra inks, and I am just going to pull those out, especially red and orange. Let's see, and then the yellow, this pink, the lollipop. Hi, Gretchen. I think it's a little lighter than tickled pink, so I will pull that out. And then we have the purple, the lime green. So first, now this comes with two layers. And what they've done is the bottom layer is darker, the top layer is lighter. So, and it just lays right over. I am actually going to start with cherry pop, which is the red, on this bigger hibiscus. And these inks are really juicy. If you remember when I used them the first time around as well, they are luscious, they are vibrant, and very juicy. So, with a little that I have on my blending brush, I can actually ink blend through and through. And just look at how vibrant that is. And they stain as well, I have to tell you. So I think the pigment, the dye basically in them is quite intense, and that is what gives it that vibrant color. And for that reason, they are bound to stain. Let's pull out. So these are the stamen pieces. I will use yellow for those. Let's pull out candy corn, which is the orange, and I will add that to the topmost layer here on this red bloom, as well as the base layer on the smaller one. So that way there is color repetition, but on different layers. So how has everybody been? How has your month kick started? July half year is done with. Um, and it is just so amazing. It always amazes me how time has been flying. But how is everybody doing? What are you doing this weekend? I do know it's a long weekend in US, so do you have any plans? I would love to hear what everybody is going to be up to this weekend. So just with that much that I had lifted on my blending brush, I was able to ink blend both these pieces. And then lollipop. Again, I would not have to really lift too much, but a little bit, and I will add that to the topmost layer for the smaller bloom. And then lollipop on this bloom right here. And I will then bring the candy corn, that's the orange, on the smaller one. And I can then just set these aside. I will come back to them. Ah, that is nice, Karen. A picnic sounds really nice and fun. Running errands, Melissa, and prepping for your upcoming class. Well, that would be good too. Oh, you did by the weekender. I had fun with that box, such fun product. So, yeah, you are still going to enjoy, even though it's after the event is over. I am so sure you will enjoy creating with that. Oh, that is so nice, Jen. Good, good. I love it. I love the idea of reorganizing the craft room. Once you guys are done, maybe I can commission you to come do it for me. And I still need to do 8 of the 12 classes. Oh wow, Melissa, a lot. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of cards to catch up on. But I'm sure you will have fun. So that would be good. I'm just adding yellow on all these inner elements that go over the flowers. And I'm going to bring back cherry pop on these anthuriums. Again, like I said, I'm not even sure if I end up using all of these on my card today, but maybe I will have enough for two cards. Who knows? I know, Melissa. I have been just reading about that, the heat wave, and how everybody is really having a hard time in the heat and wanting to be in the air conditions. I totally get that, because in India it is always hot, mostly, especially where I am at in Mumbai. It's mostly hot and humid, so I know how that feels for sure. Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice, Pam. I love that. A drone show instead of the fireworks. That is so mindful, and that is good. Good that people are thinking about that and considering all of that. Um, that is nice. I am happy to hear that for sure. Now, I don't have a brown, so I will need to pull out something from my Alchemy inks. For the seashells, I just want a brownish tone, but what I'm thinking of is green gold. Not a brown as such, but I think it will work for me. So let's ink blend our seashells with that. I like that color on there. And I'm doing this very light-handedly, making sure I have shading with as much ink as I have on my blending brush. Oh, I get it. Absolutely, I understand the firework shows and everything. Fireworks are so common here in India. Any festival, any occasion, um, we have fireworks all throughout the year. So I know the smoke, the noise, and of course, with pets, it must be harder. Okay, so this is done, and what I'm actually going to do is I will glue these, set them aside so that this is out of the way, and I can then continue ink blending the other pieces. So my tweezer, my glue. You could shape these and make them dimensional. I am not doing that today. And you could always use colored cardstock, remember? Just die cut on different color cardstock and glue the layers together. That would work as well. So I have that, and then the bigger piece that will cover up the center, right there. I'm just going to add a little bit around the center. It's just two pieces, so not that difficult to line them up, right? And that comes to life just like that. I'm actually going to shift it, moving it around a little bit to see where I like it the best. The stamen piece, and I think that works. And the same thing with the smaller one. They, I mean, they don't call this the keyhole system, and I think it's just the way the die is designed. You have these guide marks to line up those two layers. And of course, I meant the keyhole system is unique to Alt New. Um, they were the ones who came up with it, and we all know it is an Alt New product when there is a keyhole system. And that looks good there. Let me maybe add a little glue to the base of this stamen piece. I'm using very little glue. So that's done. And that's on the side. And then these flowers, I don't really know if they are meant to go on there, but I am just creating them like that, adding a smaller flower over the bigger one just for a little interest. And I'm offsetting it a little bit so that it gives me more visual interest. Hi, Janet, good to see you here. Now, these anthuriums as well, I need to just figure out the placement. Let's see. So, this one has this right here. I love this vibrant red, the cherry pop. It's not a true red, but it's quite intense. Look at that. And this one right there. Janet, your under the sea cards were really beautiful. I saw some, I commented on some. Um, they were pretty. And I think we've all been really enjoying creating those sea, ocean theme cards, beach theme today. Um, but yeah, in general, that has been quite fun, especially to watch and look at different creations using different brand products, but ultimately all tying in with the theme. I'm sure they were fun. Of course, I have had such a great time playing with them. So I get it. I'm just going to clean this part and lay out my foliage for this. So you see it has stained quite a bit, and that is what I was talking about. The pigment is pretty intense to achieve that vibrant look. Hello Jana, good to see you here. Thank you for joining in. So that I am going to just lay out the foliage pieces. Again, like I said, not sure if I will be using everything, but I'd just like to have everything ink blended. Me too, Jen anthuriums. They're one a plant, I would say plant, not flower plant, but that is so common here in India, and we see them in different colors: pink, red, yellow, orange, so many colors. So I love them too. Oh, that is so nice to hear, Janet. That is lovely. Exactly why, these tropical blooms and then with those beach elements, I thought it would be so fun to create with this. And like I said, it is still ocean theme, but a different take. Instead of the under sea world, we're focusing more on our beach holiday. So again, lighting, blending, but I'm going in with the same color right in the middle, and this gives me that shaded look I need, almost as if I have used two ink colors right there. I'm just using lime first. I can also mix colors actually. Yes, tropical paradise beach, absolutely. So I'll just first ink blend with the lime on all the pieces. Are you all already done with your sea and under sea and ocean theme cards? Are you ready to move to another theme yet, or is everybody still having fun yet to create and explore? In July, I do know the common theme is Christmas in July, so I'm sure we'll see a lot of holiday products too. But I don't think I am really done to move on yet. So I'm going to open Cookie Monster, which is this blue. And when I blend that over this green, I will have a deeper shade. And I think that will be nice to create a darker green. So let's see. I'm going right in the center. So it gives me a blue green tone, but it works because I have used lime zest and it creates shading. So even with just what are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ink colors, um, there's so much we can do by just mixing and blending. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to do my best to not pull out more ink colors because I wanted to show you this. And you can do this with any brand, the pigment inks, especially the ones that blend well. Alt New, Pink Fresh, Gina K. I think all of them you will be able to mix colors and create your own shades. And I'm going to go back in with lime. Beach theme cards, working on some stitch ones. Oh, that is interesting, Jana. That is really interesting. And Janet loved white, all white. Yes, I that's one of my favorite looks too. All white, a white on white. Okay, for Jen's challenge, that is interesting. I look forward to seeing both your cards, Jana and Janet, over on social media. And just going in with lime for this particular one, darkening right along that midline, as well as for this one. I'll actually add a little blue for this. And more line. So that sure looks good to me. I can set these aside. And then get to ink blending all of these other elements. And let's see. So I'm thinking of yellow for my tote bag here. So let me get on with that. Just ink blend with pineapple. And I'm pulling ink from the edges inward, making sure I have a nice transition with the same ink color, creating darker edges and making it lighter as I reach the center of the bag. This is a fun tote. So just going in with more ink at the edges now. And what this does is it defines the shape of the bag, adding a little more depth. And I want to bring in that stripes stamp set here. Now the die for this, with this, I also got these cute elements, a smiley face, and these tiny elements that you could add on the bag. I don't want to add those. Instead, I want to stamp with the stripes. What I'm actually going to do, so I will use the same yellow and apply ink right here, and then over it I am going to add a little orange. So at a few places, and I'll take my die cut and lay it on the stamp. Because this is a large background stamp, I think this technique is going to work. Instead of me pulling out my stamp wheel for this, I'm just going to press down, and it should give me a little texture and design right there. Look at that. So it adds an element of design to my tote. Yes, Pam, me too. The colors are the vibrant colors. Oh, and I have to tell you, so you know, we went to the aquarium, a large, huge, big aquarium place, and I saw so many fish. I saw the blue tang, the yellow tang, the Moorish idol, clownfish, all of those from Alt News kit. I saw all of those, and so many more. Like, it was amazing. So much inspiration. Jellyfish, I saw tons of them, and they had them in different kind of incubators, I want to say, because they were, I don't know what the word is, breeding. And so there were these different incubators with the eggs, and then them hatching and different sizes. It was so inspiring. Just, oh, and seahorse. The different colors of seahorse I saw was incredible. It was incredible. Oh, and now I can't get it out of my head. I feel like I want to pull out Alt News Mini Delight Seahorse die and create those different colors. Yes, you and Karen are going to the staycation event. I'm sure that will be fun, and I am sure you're looking forward to that one. Now for the handle of my bag. Let's see. So I like how this bag is. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm going to color the handle later. I will come to my flip flops. Um, and I like this die because with two dies, I'm just going to get rid of the negative pieces. You could save the negative pieces and do something like um, lay those on top. But just want to show you how is this. Okay, let's take a look at it. I think this is a separate set of flip flops because this is too What am I missing? I have no idea. Oh, that is so interesting. Jalapenos and tomatoes. That is interesting, Jen. Oh, these dice, yes, they are so cute. I am still figuring this layer out, so I don't know. But again, what I had in mind was to not use this one. I will figure that out. But to use these, oh, was it these pieces? Let me just. I did see, but right now, top of my head, I don't remember how this went. But either ways, I am going to do what I did for the tote, but this time create horizontal stripes. So that is what I had in mind. And look at those, adorable. But now for these, I am going to use purple. So dried fig and ink blend that on the base. I'll let it dry, but meanwhile, I will just ink blend this with lollipops. So they are pink and purple combination. The strap of the flip flops. And I'm not sure if the pink will look good, um, or will be visible on the purple, but we will try. That's what this is about, experimenting. So I'm just pushing my sticky mat away, making sure my yellow is off, and I will swipe the lollipop on this stamp right here, and I'll do what I just did. I will take the flip flops and just press them on the stamp right here. Oh, that works. So those, I mean, that instantly adds the texture. And I think this is just a fun way of using that background stamp on our elements here. And I wanted to do it on both of these just to show you how both of these look good, like horizontal as well as vertical. It works well. And I want to use it somewhere on the background, so we'll see. Okay. And then the hat. So I can actually do the reverse. Add lollipop on the base, and then this strip can be the purple. Again, ink blending on the edge and pulling it inwards. So I have that shading around the edge, giving it that depth and dimension. And I'm intentionally leaving some brush strokes today because you see how that adds texture. So I'm happy with how that is looking, and I will ink blend with dried fig. And then the glasses, and I think it would be, let's see. So we have the frame layer and then the base layer. And I would like to use blue, the Cookie Monster, for the base, which is an aqua, I think. It's quite close to aqua tone. And then I am going to add yellow. I think yellow would be good, but yellow, I'm just thinking because I want it tucked into my tote, so there's already that yellow there. So what I'll do is just ink blend with the same blue on my blending brush, and then add the green like we did to the leaves, but this time it's blue first and green next, and it just creates that darker tone, and I think that would work. Yes. Then I just have the handle left, so I am thinking orange would work well. And without picking more color, I'm just going in with the blending brush with orange, and I think it still has enough ink that that works. Now, two ways we can add the handle. It could be right there on top, or like so at the bottom. I quite like that. I am going to go ahead with that, and let's just glue these layers down. And once the elements are ready, then it's pretty much building the scene. So that goes on the hat. And then I'm just going to add glue here. Like that. I haven't added glue all the way across because I want the handle to kind of lift off. I think that just adds more dimension, like so, right there. And then the frame for the glasses. These are so cute. And then the band, I'm going to apply just glue. Yes, Pam, I told you the bead set is sold out. The tropical blooms are available, but this set, the beach bound set itself, is sold out. And I do hope it comes back soon. I would say you hit the notify me button, because I remember, I think it was pretty much like alt news C release. It sold out within a day or two of the release. Look at that. So cute. Pam, are you also doing the, I'm sure you have to, if I remember correctly, but the swap, like you have to create those cards for the event to swap with people. So, what do you already have something in mind for those? Are you working on that? these elements are ready, I am just going to quickly clean my mat and set that aside. And I will figure out. I think I just have to watch their video to see how this was done. And when I figure it out, I will share it with you. Now, I have an A2 panel here for my card base, but I also have a panel which is 3/4 inches smaller than A2 on all sides. I just wanted to add a double layer. I thought that would be really nice. This is just for the sentiment. But I'm just looking now at the colors, what color I want to add. Now I can, okay, let's do this. I am going to actually bring my stamp wheel. And because we are using rubber stamps, okay, good luck with that, Pam. I'm going to remove my sticky grid mat, and I already have my mini slim grip mat right there. And I will lay that down, and then I can pull out the stamp, place it, and then lift it on my stamp wheel. And that's how you can use your stamp wheel with your rubber stamps, just with that mini slim grip mat. I'm going to go in with Cookie Monster to bring a little blue to the background. And I'm just swiping the ink on the stamp, and let's see if that is enough. I will press. And I'll just go back in with that same thing and press at the spots that I missed. And just repeat that once more. And that should do it. So I have those stripes on my background right there. And then I'm just going to quickly clean this. Oops, that is dirty. Let me use a fresh baby wipe. And I can then, I'm not yet putting my grid mat in there because I need to stamp the sentiment as well. So I'll do that. Let's pick a sentiment for this one. It's your day, make a splash. Hello sunshine, have a bright birthday, happy summer. I like hello sunshine for this, so I will use that. And I lost it. No, it's right here. Okay. I will stamp that with obsidian ink. For a nice black sentiment. That looks good. So I'm just going to clean this and put it back. And then I can add my grid mat because that is what I use most often with my stamp wheel. And just place it back. I quite like this. Just look at the stripes and on that white frame. That looks really pretty. I am going to use some foam tape. My 1-inch roll. And I will adhere this to that background panel. So I already have a nice frame. I have all the colors. I ended up using all 8 colors for this card. Just needed that green gold for my shells. I could have used yellow and blended a little orange too. Could have done that. Didn't think of it at that time. But never mind. And I will just center this and adhere it down. And then I can build my scene. Now the tote definitely needs to be the center of attention is what I was going to use. But I need space for all the elements popping out and my fall flowers too, right? I want all of that. And I'm not going to force everything on this card. Like I said, I can still use those elements if they are not fitting here. And I can make a second card later. But I like to have the elements ready just in case I think they work. So I want the fit flops in my bag, just peeking out. Even the sunglasses, I think, would be nice peeking out from the bag. Just like that. They could actually, I could do this. Have them hang here. That looks good. I'm actually going to use liquid glue and glue that, just adding a dab here. Hi Rajiv. Adding that and hanging them off the edge of the bag, like kind of like half in there, half out. I think that looks so cute. And of course I need foam. Now the dots, I am just going to consider this like a see-through bag, but I think we could also cut and just add a layer in there to preserve the white. You could add a layer with yellow, just cut a strip and add that. I'm not too bothered about that. And now I can use these. I can actually show them to you because they are coming out soon. So we have foam adhesive strips and squares coming out from New. This is an official sneak peek at it. So I will use that to add depth and dimension. I'm not telling you all the sizes they're coming out in, but the release is on Monday, so you will see. I want to add dimension on all four sides of my tote, giving it that fuller look. Oh, bam. I will get to that because I saw, like I told you, I have clicked pictures and they were amazing. Oh, the colors. It's so different, like just, looking at pictures on Google for inspiration as against actually seeing them in nature and seeing the different shades. And my mind was constantly calculating and thinking about the colors I could use with them. It is so funny how crafting does that. Okay, I need to have my fit flops down, oops, in place before I adhere the tote bag. So I'm just going to take a look and use glue. And just look at how well the stripes are working, even on the flip flops, even the background. I think they work well. They're coordinating, and then we have them on the bag as well. I'm just going to line it up and lay that down. And then the hat. Now the hat would look good just laying on the side right there. And this is where I want to just tuck in some blooms. So may not use everything. Let's see. Right there on the hat, I think that works wonderfully. And then maybe at the bottom, offset. Although it's pink and pink. So I'm going to swap and see if I can use something else, or maybe the seashell too. Uh, because I'm thinking I can actually use the florals for another card. So that is looking good tucked in there. Hi, Naz, good to see you here. Then I have the seashell. I can actually add all of those various shells tucked underneath for layering, and I think that looks good. Just cluster of three near the hat. Although I want to add a little foliage, even if I'm not adding more flowers, I'm gonna try and add a little bit of foliage. And I don't mind with the layering, few elements being covered, but you know, few of them peeking through. I think that's what is the beauty of layers. Okay, this works. So what I'm going to do is glue down my flower on the leaf. And pull this out. Glue the hat. And now, the good thing about using liquid glue, I want to suddenly just tuck the leaf underneath and add the flower on top. I can still do that. So that's why I don't use a very quick drying liquid glue for this reason, but I can always come back and change my elements. See, that works very well. Two different heights adds instant dimension, and then I can work with these seashell layers. So I'm thinking that works well there. And then I have the starfish, which I can add here. And I'm focusing more on the bottom right here, making the composition a little heavy here, and it balances the top left with the flip flop. And it's peeking through, like I said, the beauty of layers, elements peeking through, it just adds more interest. Yes, yes, Jenny. Smaller sizes, strips, um, and easy to use. I think that is one thing that I am liking about them, especially for die cut elements. So that works. I don't think I need, I'm just still playing, if I need, oh, that looks pretty there too. I like that. That or this, let's see. I quite like this because it creates a sense of flow and movement back to the tote. So I'm going to use this leaf and add that, and it beautifully extends my cluster of elements. And I think now it balances. Everything looks good, and I still have these for another card. And then the sentiment, I am going to die cut the sentiment. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you for that. I am glad you are liking the colors. Let me bring my sidekick or the sentiment. That's easy. It's vibrant, and I think Karen here at the beginning said she has a picnic, family picnic. Of course, it's not a basket full of picnic goodies, but it sure is a fun tote to carry to the beach, and it makes me happy. The colors make me happy, and I think that is the vibe that a beach day has, right? It just makes us happy. The beach, the waves have a really calming effect, and that is what I am capturing on this card. So let's see where I want the sentiment. Thank you, Jenny. I can add the sentiment right here, right there, or on the right. Just a little off the frame too, so I can actually do this, push it down and let it go over the edge of my card. And of course, I will use tape to add a little dimension so the sentiment isn't lost. And I need to just check. Make sure to not add on that overhang part. Thank you, Karen. I hope you have a wonderful, bright picnic, just like the spirit captured here on the card. And with that, we are done with this card. I'm just going to adhere the sentiment for the first time, adding a sentiment on my card when I am making it right there. And that is it. A little crooked, so I'm going to just shift it upwards, and that looks good. So that's just a closer look. And I love what the stripes are doing, the horizontal, the vertical, adding texture, and then the rich colors, even from Tailored Expressions inks. You see now they've dried, right? But they haven't faded as much. They are still vibrant. And I could go in with splatter. I think white splatter would work. But essentially, that is the card for today. So, on that note, the life comes to an end. And yes, I am looking forward to the class next Saturday, right? 11th of July, the 3D tunnel card. And next Friday, I will be creating with Alt News new release. So the release is on Monday, and I have my video for the video hop coming out on Wednesday or Thursday, one of the days. And I will be creating with the new release products on Friday. So that'll be fun. And of course, then 11th of July, our tunnel card, the underseen tunnel card. I have been really looking forward to that. So for everybody joining that class, I am looking forward to seeing you all after a long time. Thank you, Janet. And yes, Jenny, they are kind of yeah, you're right. It's quite like a beach towel. That background frame actually looks like a beach towel. You are right. So on that note, I am going to just sign off. I hope you all have a great weekend. Those celebrating the holiday, enjoying your long weekend. I hope you have a good time with friends, family, with whoever you are celebrating and having fun with. And I will see you next Friday or next Saturday. Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. And see you. Bye bye.